Hello, I am former band president of the West York Area High School Band, Shaun. In past years, it became somewhat of a tradition starting my freshman year for the seniors to have this senior video where they get to talk about their experiences with band and kind of summarize it and give like final statements to the rest of the band before they're going off to college or whatever they may be doing after high school. In this video, the seniors will be answering three main questions. 1. What was their favorite band memory? 2. What did they learn from band, either musically or otherwise? And 3. Their final words to either Meckley or the rest of the underclassmen in band. So without further ado, here's the senior class of 2019 for West York Area High School Band.
So if I had to choose a favorite band memory, it wouldn't just be one event. I think it would just be every night at band camp that we would spend with Kieran, because it was always a wild time. He was always up super late doing God knows what. Some nights got, a little crazier than they, anticipated, I guess, but it was still just fun all the time, and it was really entertaining, and I'm really sad that, that's not going to happen again, because that was just my favorite part of band altogether.
Alright, so my favorite band memory has to be at the time of band camp. I was sleeping in my bunk, just having a dream, and then all of a sudden Kieran busts in, hooting, hollering, wakes up Graham, and then Graham wakes up, and he was a little upset. He decided to shout something that I'll never forget. Guys, can you please be quiet? I'm trying to sleep! And that was the funniest thing I ever woken up to.
So, my favorite band memory was freshman year. We had to watch a video about what happens in the guys' cabin versus the girls' cabin. And the girls had a bunch of singing and stuff. And then the guys' cabin was people throwing small bags of chips up into the fans. And we were when we got to band camp, I was we should do that because I want to know what actually happens. And it was super fun. And you wouldn't think it was fun, but you just had no idea where the bags of chips were going. And we broke 6 bags of chips and we just ate a bunch of chips. It was fun.
My favorite band memory has to be in sectionals. This was sophomore year. Eli Bensel, grade ahead of me, stands up, stands in the corner of the room with a full water bottle and says, guys, if I make it from here, we're not practicing for the rest of sectionals. Threw the water bottle across the entire choir room. It went in the trash can. We did not play for the rest of practice.
I'm just gonna start. My favorite band memory is probably from band camp, because everything great happens at band camp. It's all great, but I think the best part is my freshman year, okay? I'm going down the little itty bitty swing set, I'm going down the slide, right? And there are all these senior boys around me, okay? And my pants catch on the nail at the top, so my pants rip, just clean rip. I'm not wearing spandex because I haven't invested in spandex yet because I'm a little freshman girl. And so I just flashed everybody. And they all just laughed at me. And then for the rest of the year, everyone said, remember that time at band camp when Audrey tried to go down the slide? Yeah.
Alright, so my favorite band memory is kind of not even a band memory. Band memory is actually in music theory class when Mr. Meckley decides he's going to start telling a story and says, I'm like a walnut. And he never got to finish that story because we laughed way too hard. That and Nick Hutton coming into class every single day saying, class outside, class outside, class outside!
I'm a walnut.
And then, one day we had class outside, and Caitlin Dellinger played in the street, and Mr. Meckley said, natural selection, let her get hit. So yeah, that's my favorite band memory.
So I have two favorite memories I'd like to share from band. The one would be is kind of a more general thing where it's every time I could hang out with some of the great people in band, and I know that sounds kind of lame. I'm more talking about the moments where if there's downtime in band where I'd just be able to laugh off with some people, especially during Pit musical, because every time we had a little bit of a break, Brogan and I would just talk, and he's always hilarious with his jokes and antics. Even if I get on him sometimes, I do really love that guy. And also Kieran and Jazz band. A lot of times where we'd have a little bit of break, so Meckley would be talking to saxophones or something like that, and Kieran would just be shouting about some kind of nonsense, and even though it was nonsense, it would be hilarious to me. And for a more serious memory for band, I remember it was junior year at band camp, and we were learning a show, which was my personal favorite show. I think I tell a lot of people that. And we were working on the finale, Jupiter. And Jupiter is, as many of you know, this insane song that we all love because of how musically great it sounds, but again, it's just very difficult for us to play. So we were running through, we just learned the drill, and we were trying to march and play it for the first time. And it was, at that moment, we were able to do it, like get straight through it. Obviously there were some mistakes. It was the first week, we were learning it because it was just band camp. But at the same time, we finished it, and we kind of just all looked around each other like, wow, that was pretty good. And I think from that moment on, that was like, I can overcome anything we have in marching band. I can play some of the hardest music that's thrown at me, and I can do anything I can put my mind to.
All right, so throughout the course of my time while being in band, a lot of funny and crazy, stupid things have happened to me, especially at band camp. Probably one of my favorite memories is having to do with messing around with Alex Landis. I love messing around with Alex Landis. I love being stupid with him, and he loves being stupid with me, and the funniest stuff happens when we are together. One time, me and a bunch of other guys took a bunch of walnuts and started just chucking them at each other as hard as we could. And that was so funny, and it also hurt a lot.
My favorite moment was when I got the results back from the drumline trial. Found out I was the big bass boy.
My favorite band memory, at least one of the more recent ones, was being drum major as a whole. I wouldn't have traded it for anything. It was a great experience to have in order to pursue music education, which I'll be doing at York College next year. There was never a more thrilling feeling than bringing the band onto the field and calling everybody up and doing the Eyes with Pride chant. That's always my favorite. It would give me chills every game, and that's probably what I'm going to miss the most.
I think my favorite band memory would definitely be the family reunion. Not many people know what this is. Basically drumline knows. It was probably one of the funniest moments of my entire life.
My favorite band moment was 9th grade when we did the chicken fights in the pool. That was really fun.
All right, so some of my favorite band memories were definitely made when I was in the stands with Caroline, Regan, Sadie, and Vienna, and anybody else who tagged along with us. It was really fun to play brain games and do our little bets of what was going to happen in the game. It was really fun, and I really enjoyed it, and I'm going to miss that a lot. An honorable mention for my favorite band memory is definitely when me and Ellie Landis decided to play pterodactyl late at night in our cabin last year, and we got caught by the staff, and both of us were too stubborn to stop and be quiet, so it just ended up being us both like dying, laughing in the one plastic covered bed in the cabin. It was so hilarious, and I will always remember how stupid we probably looked and sounded.
My favorite series of memories was every time we just had musical pit. Okay, so freshman year we did Shrek, right? And Shrek was a legend. If you guys didn't know, like
And then at the legend Logan Burger Kurtzel.
Absolutely, like Logan Burger Kurtzel. I don't think we should put that in. Anyways, so like there were farts, burps, farts. Bryson spit his water all over Nick Hutton
and anybody in his path.
And
no, Nick spit his water on Bryson.
Nick spit his water on Bryson
because Mr. Meckley said, "Bet you're in, then out. I always."
It's an inside joke. You might not get it, but let's just say no instruments were harmed in that scuffle.
Thank God.
Thank God. Also, let's see. Josh caught a brawl, like Faust brawl, in the air. That was an experience.
May have been Ashby's. I'm not sure.
It was someone's bra in the air. The next year, I remember Mr. Meckley is like doing his thing, adjusting the barriers around the pit, and he's climbing over the chairs and stuff. And he's standing on the chairs, and Audrey says, "Meckley, you're gonna fall." And Meckley says, "If I fall, I'm just going to laugh at myself." And less than a minute later, he proceeds to fall.
And then laugh at himself.
He was right, he did laugh at himself. But pit was awesome. Do pit.
Massive meme.
Yeah, do pit or musical or get involved. Yeah, do that.
So, I'm going to start with my favorite memories from band. and I'll start with the shorter one. So I think it was 2 years ago at band camp, we were in line waiting for food, and I was reading the food that was on the board, and I saw that it said penne pasta, but I didn't know how to pronounce the word penne, so I asked everyone what peen pasta was. And in doing that, it instantly became a meme, and everything that week was peen themed, which was a very big joke, and I thought was hilarious. And a lot of other people thought it was funny too. And we all enjoyed ourselves with that. Up to now, people still make peen jokes, and I actually have that on the back of my shirt as a result. But my most favorite memory is probably from the Red Lion Sound Spectacular, just because from the moment we got there and we're all using the bathroom, everything was just kind of funny because like we were messing around and everyone was having a great time together. And then when we actually got up to the stadium, from the top of there is one of the best views I've ever seen, and it was really nice getting to watch the field show from up there. And the absolute best part of that night was when it started downpouring, and you just saw everyone in their marching band uniforms running back to their buses and like slipping and tripping in the puddles of water that already formed. And when we finally had gotten back to the buses, everyone was soaked, and it was just a good time in general.
One thing that band definitely taught me was, I guess, how to lead people, or at least try to, because, like, I ran out of upperclassmen in my section after my freshman year, so I kind of had to learn to, like, lead the people below me, and, like, the freshmen, underclassmen that came in each year, and I thought that was kind of an interesting process, and I tried my best to improve with that as the years went on.
What I learned in band, I learned how to connect with people and how to understand that someone's not good at something, that's okay, because they have a lot of other redeeming qualities. Like, as a section leader, I understand that through experience, I'm more efficient at playing my instrument than my other peers, but I still understand that they are very good at what they do, and I respect them for that.
So what I learned from the band was that you just need to enjoy life. Like, you can't go in thinking this is gonna suck, I hate this, and you have to come in with a positive attitude and always think on the bright side, because that way you'll actually have fun.
What I learned from band is not only how to swing, how to play quietly, all that stuff, but also I learned how to talk to people, how to teach people, and I learned how to express myself through music.
Okay, so what I've learned from band is that you can still do good things and have a good time. You can still have like fun at band camp, but still actually put in the work, because if you just put in the work and don't have fun, then it's gonna suck. So I've learned a lot about discipline and just working hard to achieve what I want and my goals, because I want to be a good musician. I've learned how to do that.
Another thing I learned is that it's okay to make mistakes. I know Meckley says it a lot, if you're going to make a lot of mistakes. Sorry. Another thing I learned was how to make mistakes and learn from them rather than just like roping on them all the time. Meckley often likes to say, if you're going to make a mistake, make it a loud one, because that way you can figure out what to fix. And I've taken that a lot with me. There was a lot of times where I've had to be put into a situation that I was uncomfortable with, regarding playing especially. And it would be something that I wasn't quite used to doing to my best ability. A big example was the first year I learned how to play quads. Obviously, it's a very different instrument than bass drum, because obviously with bass drum it's very linear and just simply goes on the back rather evenly, but with tenors it was not only more weight but much more complicated playing in both fundamentals and also just musically, because you have 4 more heads to worry about. So yes, it was definitely a lot to learn from that first year, but even besides that, I learned that, especially in jazz band, I remember when I was able to play this funk beat, and I was able to grind it. And every practice I would come in and Beckley would like kind of nitpick something, and I mean that of earnest because he wanted to see the best that I could do. And okay, I would take it and be like, I'll go back to my house and grind it. And eventually I got it, and that feeling of satisfaction of working so hard for something, and then I realized like, okay, yes, you can do it, but you just have to learn from what you're doing rather than keep making the same mistakes. So yeah.
So what I learned from band is I went into this freshman year thinking fun greater than work. So fun was number one priority, and I get to band camp. I'm a mild goofball. We'll say mild. And over time, I realized it's more that like the work you put in, it's the fun you get out, and it's something you do, and you end up enjoying it because you do it well.
Alright, so I guess what I've learned from the band is to always persevere. When times get tough, you gotta keep pushing. Band is something that you need to really know what you're doing, and everyone does have a major role. So it really taught me the importance of things. I took a lot of skills away from band that I am very glad to be able to take away from it.
I learned how to be cooperative and teamwork with people that I don't especially get along with, and it has really benefited me over the past couple years because there are always going to be people who you don't particularly like, and you don't have to like them, but you do have to at least be kind to them and work with them, especially if you're going to be in a leadership position, section leader, class representative, drum major, whatever that may be. Especially with being the head of the Snoop, I had to deal with a lot of people, and it wasn't people that I just didn't like, or did like, but I'm recording my senior video. So if you could just, anyway, that was a major skill I learned, and also practicing when I didn't want to practice because I knew that I needed to if I wanted to get into school, being out of my comfort zone, working on music that was especially hard for me to audition for school. That was very helpful because obviously needed to do that for secondary school.
What I've learned from band is to keep trying and don't really give up on like what you want to do, and you'll get better over time.
Some things that I learned in marching band was definitely just how to be positive, because there's definitely a lot of negative moments in marching band. From getting trench foot to marching at 3 in the morning for, yeah.
I learned how to beat the crap out of a bass drum. That's always a good thing.
Broke a few drum heads.
One actually.
One that Meckley knows of.
True.
Something I learned from band is definitely perseverance. Standing out in the hot sun at Bramblewood is not an easy task, and it's especially hard when nobody's motivated to. So being able to persevere through that and to motivate others and try to stay positive is definitely something I learned. And dedication. Overall, I put a lot of time into band, and I dedicated myself to not only knowing my music but helping others, and I feel like that's something that we all can take from band.
I guess what I learned from band, again, like the leadership skills and also time management and how to practice. Like, if there's a solo piece that you have, don't not know it. Practice that. It doesn't matter if you're playing a song and you have a solo, it doesn't matter what you play for the rest of the song, but that solo, you better know that solo, because Greensleeves, like,
oh my God,
freshman year Greensleeves, like, you seniors, you know what I'm talking about.
That was sophomore year Greensleeves.
Sophomore year? I thought it was freshman year Greensleeves.
I don't know. These losers don't know it, but
yeah. If you don't know your solo,
or how to play the instrument.
Or how to play your instrument, don't do it. Like, the most important part is your solo. If you don't know, like, you don't have to know anything else. Just know your solo. And Greensleeves. All I have to do is say Greensleeves, and we all get flashbacks.
So the one thing I learned from band is that I learned to be myself, and just because of like the people that I met coming up here freshman year, like Zach Abbas and Jake Spangler and Nick Hutton especially, and I just learned to like get out of my shell, because before I moved up here I was really shy, And obviously, if you know me now, I'm really loud and I don't really know when to stop talking. And yeah.
Pretty good. If I had one final word for Mr. Meckley, it would probably be thanking him for calling me that night, I guess in 8th grade before freshman year when I wasn't going to do band and convincing me to do all this, because if he hadn't made that call, I wouldn't have done band and I definitely wouldn't be where I am today. Like, it's thanks to him that I had all those great memories and made all these great friends, and I'm just really grateful for that. And then to the entire band, I guess I'm just really happy to have worked with all of you and made like so many great memories with all these amazing people in the band, and it's devastating to think that I'm going to have to say goodbye to all of this, and I hope that I can visit Austin to see how you guys do next year.
I guess I have to send this off with, I respect everyone, love all you, and I hope you all do something very fun and interesting with your life. It's not very boring.
My last things I gotta say to you guys are, you guys are amazing. Keep it up. Meckley, keep up your sports analogies. They're great and hilarious.
Cool. Thank you.
My final words to the band and Mr. Meckley. I love all you guys, even though I hated marching band and everything else that we did. I still had a lot of fun doing it. And I just want to thank everybody for the experience.
My message to the band is just, and Mr. Meckley, sorry, is, well, I'm going to do them separately. So to the band, don't give up, no matter how much you want to, no matter how much band camp is not fun or how much you get yelled at, still work really hard, because in the end it'll be something great and something you'll remember forever. And I'd probably give anything to get another marching band season, even though this past one was kind of rough because of Mr. Meckley's absence. So then, also to Mr. Meckley, I just want to say thank you for everything that you've done for us. We know how much you've struggled and what you've gone through, and you're a real inspiration to me, because you went through awful things and still tried to come to band camp for a few days and for a few hours at a time and try and spend time with us, because we're your band, and that really means a lot to us.
So now for the big one. I'll start with my message to the band, because I feel like that's more general. To all the underclassmen, you've heard me say something like this a lot this semester, especially with all the problems that are going down with West York. The band always has represented kind of the cream of the crop of the student body. They're always the ones who are the top of the academics, the ones who are involved with all the extracurriculars, and usually the presidents of those. So my message is just keep being focused, keep being passionate about everything that you do, keep trying your best with it. You are all awesome. I've had so much fun, and I'm so glad I've had the pleasure of interacting with all of you. And just keep being the people I know you can be. That's what I want to see in my alumni way. And everything I'd be basically a shell of what I am today as a if not just even besides just playing even outside of band class, I just sit and listen to either orchestra, and especially especially the side of music which I once thought was boring. Again, thank you so much for everything you've done. I know I just wanted to know if anything comes up with it, that me and my family will always be here for you. Yeah.
Alright, so my message to the band then, it's kind of similar in a way. It's just to keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I see a lot of the freshmen this year, and they're really good. We got 5 freshman trombones, and I was like, well, me, Frank, and Jacob Franklin are going to graduate, and then RIP the little brass section, and out of nowhere, 5 freshman trombones. So that's great. Please don't quit. And then my message to them is that What's that?
Also, Catherine will never graduate. She's a freshman.
Catherine will never graduate. She's a freshman. Alex will graduate before Catherine.
Yep. That's it. Alright, thanks.
Thank you guys.
And I guess my message to you, Mr. Meckley, is thank you for everything you taught me over the past 4 years. I will miss you a lot. I will miss the band a lot. And yeah, keep trying.
My final words to the band is thank you guys for all the support you this kind of community. Love you guys. You guys are the best. Have a great life.
If you have heart, if you are willing to dedicate time and effort into practicing, anyone can be amazing. It doesn't matter if you start off with zero skill. If you have the heart and the energy to put into band, you will and can be great.
Michelle, one more quick thing.
Yeah. I'm not doing it, piano.
Okay.
And my final words to the band are thank you guys for making this the best year that I've had yet. It was a lot of fun, especially with all of the freshmen that I got to take under my wings per se and have a lot of fun times with at band camp and just throughout the school year this year. And to Mr. Meckley, thank you for taking the time to teach me everything that I know now, since I didn't know anything coming up, since sectionals I just kind of got thrown around everywhere, and making me the best player that I can be.
Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Nick. Out here in Texas, recording, being torn up by mosquitoes, but I'm recording this video for you guys. So, favorite band memory had to be just being in the stands and playing with you guys. Had a good time. Sorry, had a good time, and got to play with the best section of the band, the tenor saxes. So, you know, what more could I ask? Something I learned from band, definitely don't talk when Mr. Meckley is talking, and if you ever have a problem playing, just breathe, and that will most likely solve it. A final message for the band. Hey, I was there for a short amount of time, and I made so many memories, so many great memories. So, sticking with band for 4 years, I mean, you're bound to make friends and a lot of memories. So I definitely say it's worth it. And for Mr. Meckley, thank you. I mean, I felt so welcomed, and it's thanks to you I got to stand out, be in the marching band, and you know, be part of the show and everything. And that was great. Thank you. Anyways, I wish you all the best of luck, and see you guys.
So there you have it. That was the 2019 class for the West York Area High School Band. I hope you enjoyed sitting through all the messages, and I can't wait to see all of you again.
Rock on, dude!